Hello, it's Paulina here to talk about assessments and grouping in the art room. This is a list of summative data for a third grade class over a 4-week period. As you can see on the left, listed are the students. The first 4 grades are qualitative grades. They are considered non-academic skills for art, self-direction, problem solving, collaboration, and work habits. The key for them is listed on the bottom left, and in the next slide you'll see criteria for how we grade that. And the 2 quantitative scores are practice and project. Practice happens first, and then comes project. The criteria for non-academic grades is as listed, and if a student is showing these skills, each one of the 4 classes, they're going to get 4 tallies, and that would look like they are consistently demonstrating the skills, rather than if they sometimes show them, maybe 3 out of the 4 classes, they'd get a sometimes demonstrating. If they show them once or none, rarely demonstrating. Using that data, I have created different little areas that you can see how I will heterogeneously group in the next slide with. To me, when I group the data this way, collaboration and work habits needed some areas for growth. So I will, as you can see, the green is consistently demonstrating. So as a whole, most of the students are consistently demonstrating all these non-academic skills. However, in collaboration, we kind of don't have the middle part, and ditto for work habits. So that I would flexibly group students who are consistently demonstrating criteria for collaboration and work habits heterogeneously with those that are rarely or sometimes demonstrating these skills. When I did that, these would be their groupings as followed. They're about the same size as our table size for students sitting at tables, 3 to 4 students. So that will help with that. And activities that they'll do to promote such habits are going to continue using rubrics to promote self-direction. According to the research, this is a great way to boost student performance, and I believe it's helpful for mandated subjects like art, where they don't really get to pick whether or not they're coming, they just have to come. So that's an activity they'll continue to use. And a new activity that I found, the link is below, collaboration through group work. This Sketch Together app could be used in person or in virtual settings, and it's a great maybe warm-up activity that can be done in these heterogeneously mixed groups to build collaboration and those types of non-academic skills. A range of activities that we'll use for heterogeneously mixed groups. The distant learning link has a lot of virtual options, and so does the other one. I think that, with art, whether or not it's virtual or in person, it can be adapted based on the materials that you have. So for my virtual students, making sure that they have access to at least some materials to perform these activities, and in person, just providing the supplies that students will use. The practice and project scores show that there are some areas for providing more challenging activities. As you can see, from practice to project, only 1 decrease in their score, but only 5 increase, whereas 9 stayed the same. So those students might not have been challenged enough. That centers a more choice-based art, aids in building creative, intrinsically creative students. So these 5 centers are very common for choice-based art, and I would love to incorporate them in my classroom wherever I can. This is a list of homogeneously grouped students based on their quantitative data. So you got the high-performing students that scored at the higher A, mid A, mid-performing, and lower were in the B range. And with these homogeneously grouped, these are some activities that would fall in line with their different skill levels. Although again, for art, I don't feel like one activity is not useful for, there's always something a student can learn from trying and using different materials. So there are high-performing sketching activities in the top link, and many different lessons in mid-performance, and lower performance would be less materials and quicker activities. So maybe one-day activities for those that are lacking in attention and are struggling there. I think that one-day lessons are a lot better suited for them. And again, with the virtual artists, there are some online resources that those kids can utilize. However, when I teach virtual students, often I'll just ensure that they have access to materials. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something. Bye-bye.